is Alfred James Dill. Let me show you. Let me show you. Very pleased to present my very rare 1909 Ericsson Fiddleback AB2100 Kevin Spacey telephone.
Little Mary Fagin, she went to town one day. She went to the pencil factory to get her little pay. She left her home at 7. She kissed her mother goodbye. Not one time did the poor child think that she was going to die. Then a villain met her with a brutal heart, we know. He smiled and said, "Little Mary, now you go home no more." He sneaked along behind her until she reached a little room. He laughed and said, "Little Mary, you've met your fatal doom."
My Two Dads will return next Sunday. Now stay tuned for a world premiere miniseries, The Murder of Mary Fagin.
I picked up that telephone, the 1909 Ericsson, a few days back. It is a rare telephone. It's a Swedish company, not many were made. I have reason to believe that it was screen used in this movie.
The Murder of Mary Fagin.
It's a mini-series from 1988. Got a lot of good reviews, a lot of great actors in here. But I'm going to be playing detective. I'm going to be watching like a hawk for that telephone.
The office, knowing that he'd carried out the will of the people.
There it is. There it is. There it is. I deduce that this telephone, not this one, this telephone was screen used in the 1988 television miniseries, The Murder of Mary Fagin. How did I come to deduce? Let me tell you. Let's start with the first and most obvious clue. It's a little tiny handwritten note that says simply, used in the film The Ballad of Mary Fagin, filmed in Richmond. That would be Richmond, Virginia. Now this little note here, isn't that enough proof for you? On the little note it says The Ballad of Mary Fagin. The actual movie is called The Murder of Mary Fagin. The Ballad of Mary Fagin being the working title. And though the film was primarily filmed in Richmond, Virginia, this telephone was filmed in Petersburg, Virginia. It's about 20 minutes away from Richmond. And it's in 2 scenes with Kevin Spacey. Also in one of those scenes with the telephone, Hollywood legend Jack Lemmon. Just a little side note before I move on. Let me show you this. If you live in an apartment or a house where you're renting and you collect big heavy antiques, big telephones, big clocks, things like that, just build your own stand. Because you don't want to put these things on the wall. They're too heavy and you got to anchor them and you create holes. It's just easier. Just get creative. So if the little note on the front wasn't enough evidence for you, here's something that really helped me identify this telephone. Paint splatter. Paint splatter is very common on antiques. This stuff would have been in someone's house, someone's kitchen or whatnot. They paint, they don't move it, they don't cover it, and you get that wonderful paint splatter. Usually this makes me kind of upset when I get something with paint splatter on it, and it's a little annoying. But in this case it really worked out, especially that spot right there. You could see that spot in the film. In the film, this arm is upside down. Someone put it right, which is pretty cool because if it wasn't right, it would drive me nuts. It's got to be right. So you actually see this side of the transmitter on the film and this side of the arm on the film, but not this side of the bracket. So this spot is visible on film. You can also see that it has the same wear patterns. The paint has worn away a little bit more now than it is in the movie, but it is in the same pattern. Back to this side again, this scratch is also visible on film. This imperfection in the paint here, this shape, this spot here, this is all visible in the movie. This is also the correct receiver, though the receiver hook is gone. And I'm going to show you that this wire has a certain curve in it. I'm going to show you that right now. The way the wire is permanently looped and twists in this way. You can also see that when Kevin Spacey puts the receiver back on the hook. What's very interesting too is that the movie takes place in 1913 and this phone is 1909. That's when it was manufactured. When Spacey is using it, it's showing about 80 years of wear when it's only supposed to be 4 years old. Isn't that something? If you ever get a wall crank telephone, you have to take the crank off before you open or you could damage it. Just untwist it in reverse. Just like that. Very nice. There's so many clues that can be seen in the movie. This rust here, where the metal scraped against the screw, that's there too. I definitely will not be cleaning this telephone. This telephone looks like it was never cleaned, and it looks exactly as it did in the film. Exactly. What I will do though, I want to see the bells aren't hooked up. I noticed that. They aren't hooked up to the magneto. I want to see if the magneto works, because that would be great if it does. And see if those bells work. But that's as far as I'm going to go. These little thumb nuts on the bells, well, they're in the movie too. I'm going to get started on this magneto. In the meantime, I'd like to turn you over to my daughter Raven, who's going to do a movie review on the star-studded 1988 television miniseries, The Murder of Mary Fagan. This is Raven's Movie Review.
Hello, my name is Raven Dill, and I welcome you to Raven's Movie Review, where I am attempting to watch every single TV movie on Earth. Today I am reviewing a historical TV drama called The Murder of Mary Fagan. The film aired on NBC in 1988, running over 4 hours long. The film stars veteran actor Jack Lemmon as the governor of Georgia, and Peter Gallagher as Leo Frank, the supposed protagonist. The film is based on true events in the Southland during the early 1900s. Mary Fagan went to the pencil factory where she worked to collect her pay. Mary was a young teen before the child labor laws were fully in place. On what was to be a joyous day at the parade, turned into a gruesome tragedy, when Mary Fagan is discovered by the night watchman, murdered. Could it have been the night watchman? Or was it Supervisor Leo Frank, who was the last to see Mary in his office? The film is an excellent courtroom drama with rich dialogue and plenty of suspense. It takes a lot for a film to hold my attention these days, but this has it all in spades. The cast, yes, even Kevin Spacey, were excellent at their craft, and bring history to life again for a modern audience. Costumes, scenery, and dialect were picture perfect. I do warn that this film is not for the faint of heart. It even stayed on my mind in sadness for a good few days afterward. Despite the grim premise and shattering ending, where no party wins, I deem this an excellent film, which could even fall under a classic category. I highly recommend it. Thank you for joining me tonight on Raven's Movie Review.
This is Raven's Movie Review.
Nudity was the watchman, and when he wound the key, away down in the basement, little Mary he could see. He called for the policemen, their names I do not know. They came to the pencil factory and told Nude he must go. Her mother sets a weeping, she weeps and mourns all day. She prays to meet her baby in a better world someday. Judge Roney passed a sentence, you bet he did not fail. Solicitor U.M. Dorsey, he sent the brute to jail.
So good news and bad news. The good news is the magneto works, and it works perfectly. The bad news is there's two solenoids, of course. There they are. And they operate the clapper for the bells. Make that beautiful ringy dingy dingy. One of them is good, one of them is bad. I have two wires connected to the posts of the magneto, and I have those wires running down to the solenoid that actually works. So I'm going to crank that magneto, and I'm going to show you that the solenoid works, that it's actually going to be magnetized from the generator. It's going to bring that screw close. Isn't that cool? It's perfect solenoid after 100 and something years. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to replace the solenoid. I'm going to keep everything original, and I'm going to put it all back together and just call it a day, because like I said, I want everything to just remain as it was. Dissolve. So we're going to go from Mary Fagan's walking through the factory, she's walking to Leo Frank's door, and then it's going to dissolve from Leo Frank's door to this door, and it's going to be one continuous shot. So we're going to come in here, we're already going to be in here, Jesse's going to be standing here, Darian's going to be standing here, I'm going to be sitting here, and Raymond's going to be sitting here. So I'm going to be talking to Raven, so you're going to be actually joining a conversation already in progress. From out there, you'll hear it, it'll pick up, our voices will pick up on the microphone. And I'm going to be telling a story. I'm going to be in the middle of a story talking about some guy with khaki pants with little chicken legs. And that's kind of be how we introduce the scene, and then I'm going to say, oh, we have company, something like that. Let's roll back and see how it works. There's a holding area, and I put it in the holding area, right? So Mommy and Daddy are walking around, we're still looking at stuff, and I have it in the holding area. So we came back around to the holding area, we were passing it, we still weren't ready to leave, and there's this guy standing over the phone. He's got khaki shorts on, sandals, and these little chicken legs, right? And he's cranking it, and he's cranking it, and nothing's happening. He's like trying to impress his girlfriend. It's like, hey buddy, you don't know what's going on in there. Just leave it alone. I didn't say anything. Mommy's like, aren't you afraid he's going to break it? I'm like, he's not going to break it. Oh, we have visitors. Thank you very much for watching our show. We hope you enjoyed it. When I announced that I had a telephone that was in a movie that was used by a famous actor, people were guessing because I wasn't letting on, My friend Sandy guessed Jimmy Cagney and Marlon Brando. My friend Kevin, he guessed Anthony Perkins. I even had one person guess Ron Liebman. So, sorry to disappoint.
Speaking of disappointing, it's too bad you couldn't get those bells to work.
Oh no? What's that? What's that?
Movie magic.
Astonished asked the question, the angels they do say, why he killed little Mary upon one holiday. Come all of you good people, wherever you may be, supposing little Mary belongs to you or me.